Today, we're diving into a story that really gets under your skin. It takes two things we all understand: that deep, fundamental need for connection and the overwhelming, crushing power of silence, and it pits them against each other in the most chilling way possible. So, when you think end of the world, you probably picture something loud, right? Explosions, chaos. Well, this story throws all of that right out the window. There are no asteroids here, no mushroom clouds. It all starts with something way more unsettling. See, the big mystery here isn't what happened, it's how. It wasn't one single catastrophic event. It was more like a fade out, a slow creeping subtraction. People just vanished. One by one, humanity was kind of erased, leaving behind this perfectly preserved but totally empty world. And what's left? Utter silence. A quiet so deep, so absolute, it's almost like a living thing. You could say it's the main character of the story. A world with no voices and absolutely no answers. All right, so let's dig into that. Part 1, A World of Silence. We're going to look at how this story builds its unique apocalypse. Because this isn't your typical survival story against zombies or nuclear winter. Nope. This is about surviving something much, much quieter. Total, soul-crushing isolation. So in this story, the silence isn't just quiet. It's not passive. Think of it as an active, oppressive force. It's really the true villain of the piece. It represents the end of everything. Every conversation, every relationship, basically everything that makes us, well, us. And the terrifying thing is how it happens. It doesn't just happen overnight, it creeps in. You know, at first it's just little things you'd probably brush off. A neighbor you haven't seen in a day. An empty bus driving its normal route. Weird, but maybe explainable. But then, a phone call doesn't connect. Then another. And before you know it, entire cities just go quiet. The strangeness turns into this undeniable, horrifying new reality. And this is where we meet our main character, Arjun. This quote really sums it all up for him. Think about that for a second. He didn't see it happen. He didn't fight through the chaos. He just woke up one day and everyone was gone. He's left in the aftermath, totally convinced he's the last person alive. Okay, so just as we're settling into this incredibly bleak, silent world, the story throws us a lifeline. It introduces the one thing that can fight back against the silence, that desperate, that unbreakable human need to connect. Can you even imagine? After weeks, maybe months, of hearing nothing but the wind, you hear this. These words cutting through the static. It's so much more than just a voice, isn't it? It's proof. Proof you haven't lost your mind. Proof you're not alone. It's like a single match being struck in a pitch-black cave. And the change is just immediate and profound. Look at this. Before her voice, Arjun's life was all about what was missing. Empty streets, no answers, total isolation. But after he hears Mira, his world is suddenly full again. Not with people, but with shared experiences. They talk about their fears, their memories, they even tell bad jokes. Her voice literally builds a whole new world for him out of nothing. These daily radio calls, they become his entire existence. Think about it. In a world that has no future, they create this little sanctuary just by talking about the past. Sharing fears, remembering favorite foods, making each other laugh. These simple things become the building blocks of a new society. A society of two. Their connection is their new world. But you know, hope is a powerful motivator. And this newfound hope, it doesn't just stay on the radio waves. It pushes Arjun to do something. It transforms the story from just surviving into a real, actual quest. And this right here, this is his mission statement. He's saying he's willing to risk everything, all the safety he's built for himself, for just the chance at a real human connection. He's choosing the danger that comes with hope over the cold, safe certainty of being alone forever. I mean, wow, that says so much about what drives us, doesn't it? So he sets out on what is basically a modern-day pilgrimage. First, the massive decision to leave his shelter. Then, the long, dangerous journey across empty highways and through these ghost cities, all leading to the destination, the building she described. But you have to remember, he's not just going to a place on a map. He's traveling toward a person, toward that voice. Okay, so we've been on this journey with him. We've felt the hope. And now, we're at the end, the destination. But this is where the story pulls the rug out from under us with a final, absolutely chilling twist that changes everything. So he gets there, he finds the city, finds the room, and the radio is still on, which feels like a good sign, right? But he calls out her name and gets nothing back. He's met with the one thing he traveled hundreds of miles to get away from: complete and total silence. And that's when he finds it, a note left by Mira. And this is the gut punch. This wasn't some weird cosmic event. This wasn't random. It was deliberate. They weren't just disappearing. They were being taken, hunted one by one. Just try to picture this moment of pure horror. He's standing there, reading these terrifying words, the truth of what happened right there in his hands. And at that exact instant, the radio behind him crackles to life. It's the same voice, the same words that gave him so much hope. "Hello, is anyone there?" But now, he gets it. It was never a cry for help. It was a lure. The promise of connection, the very thing that drove him here, was the trap. So what do you do? What does he do? This leaves Arjun, and really us too, with this awful, impossible choice. That deep human instinct to connect, the thing that made him risk everything, has just been exposed as a fatal weakness. And his final decision? For the first time, he says nothing. He chooses silence. The enemy he was fighting against this whole time has suddenly become his only defense. By denying that fundamental need to reach out, he saves his own life. And that's the question this story leaves you with, isn't it? It's just so haunting. It takes our deepest, most basic need, the need to find another person in the dark, and twists it into a weapon. It makes you wonder, what's the point of surviving if the price is abandoning the one thing that truly makes us human? When connection itself is the trap, is being silent the only way to live?